Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast,
where each week your hosts dive into the crossroads of faith,
culture,
and the unknown. Christ is Lord,
and the kingdom is now. We are the Saints That Serve.
Hey, and welcome to episode 1 of...
Wait, are you sure it's episode 1?
Ooh.
What if?
What if? No, it's episode 1.
Yeah.
Pretty confident because
We haven't done this
haven't
before.
done anything else. No, episode 1 of the Saints That Serve podcast.
We going full words or we going to abbreviation?
I guess we could do STS. That makes it easier.
Yeah, it does.
The STS podcast.
With your hosts.
Name pending. With your hosts, Jonny and...
Wait, are we doing last names?
Well, I guess we are now.
Dox me, come on. No. So Jonny and Jarus.
There we go. I just went right in. Yeah, so we're just going to go right into it. We've got a couple of little housekeeping things to let you guys know about.
So what is the STS? Let me start over. What is Saints That Serve?
So Saints That Serve is a community of believers who are coming together to fulfill the Great Commission of Jesus Christ, which is to make disciples. There is no particular denominational allegiance. We believe that the Church of Jesus Christ is the Church of Jesus Christ. So if you believe that Jesus is the only way to be saved, then you're a part of the church. And so we want to unify the church and fulfill the Great Commission. And we want to do that by having community, having fellowship, and a part of having fellowship, I think, is having entertainment. So that's what this podcast is here for, to promote unity and diving deeper in our faith, but then also to be entertained in a Christian-friendly way.
Correct.
So
that's Saints That Serve. So what is the STS podcast?
The STS podcast is a branch of that community with the goal of presenting Christian content for the internet. So on this podcast, we'll have conversations and interviews of people and just a good time just getting to know things around us. But it also will promote what we're doing as a community. So we'll have updates about our community Bible studies and where we're congregating, things that we're doing internationally and locally. All that kind of stuff will be introduced here, but the primary goal here on the podcast is to entertain you in a Christian way.
Correct. And we had talked about this several times in the past, where there's a lot of content out there that... So I'm a gamer. You're a gamer. It's really annoying to try to find... At least for me, and this is what kind of spurred it to kind of start out, but to try to find gaming content and all of them kind of align with beliefs that I oppose. So it's like in a lot of things today, it's really hard to find entertaining content created by Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like where that started, that conversation.
Yeah.
And then, 3 years later, the cat is on the soundboard.
Disclaimer, we have a trash cat in our trash basement where we're recording. And every now and then if you hear a scream or
it's because the cat attacks.
Yeah. He is literally biting Jarus's thumb right now.
It's a sweet cat. What's his name? Tom, right?
Your cat's so sweet. What's his name?
So anyways, where was I?
Yeah. So the idea is that we couldn't really find great content, entertaining content that's aligned with our morals and our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So there is stuff out there. I don't want to be like, this is going to be the only entertaining Christian podcast that you're going to find.
True. Right.
There's stuff out there. But I have found that when it comes to Christian entertainment, the most entertaining podcasts have to do with cryptid, cryptid things or the unknown, which we will get into that on this podcast.
Yes.
But we'll also talk about video games.
Right. So, like, again, it's like for some reason there seems to be lumped in with the video game anime communities, that those have to align with communities that oppose us as Christians. Is that a good way of saying it?
Yeah, if you're a part of the any of the communities that go to Dragon Con or Comic Con, any of those kind of cons, then how dare you be a Christian and show up is kind of the, or how dare you be a Christian and talk about that stuff in Christian communities. So
that's some stuff that I would like to eventually get into is, as Christians, what are appropriate video games to play? As Christians, what things should we be watching as Christians? What's okay within any genre, right? So, like, something that I think I want to talk about later on is it okay to watch horror movies?
Yeah, which
is part of that. And then, so on and so forth.
Don't spoil it.
It's not spoiling.
So our plan this year is to do a deep four-part episode on that to kind of ramp up for Halloween this year. We're gonna dig deep into the horror film genre, and then the spiritual and physical effect it has on our lives in real life.
Right.
So that is coming.
Yeah, that is coming. We do. I said that to say we have plans. We have a
direction. I know it sounds like
if we were rambling, it's because. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, if we're rambling, it's just because we haven't really sat down and recorded anything in a while.
Yeah, this is us dusting off the cobwebs. And
so hopefully episode 1 is entertaining, but also coherent.
But if it's not entertaining, treat it like...
Skip this episode, go to episode 2.
Community, a TV series. You really got to get 3 episodes in before you get the hook. And you're like, you know what? I like that.
Oh, is that why that show was terrible? I only watched the first 2?
Yeah, that's why everyone who watches, they're like, I watched the first episode or the first 2 episodes and I just couldn't do it. I was like, yeah, but you got to, there's a lot of character development. It's getting ironed out. Once you get into like episode 3 or 4, then you get the tone and it's an enjoyable.
Isn't a lot of shows like that now? Like 2 really great examples is the first season of The Office is really, it's not bad. It's humorous, but it's really hard to get into. And the show becomes something completely different down the line. And the same way with Breaking Bad. The first season of Breaking Bad is incredibly slow.
Disclaimer, Johnny, have never seen Breaking Bad.
It's really good. If you're really into the meth industry,
if you really want to know
and know how to cook the perfect meth and sell meth because you have cancer, it's the show for you.
Good. Well, before we get any further, I do want to bring up, by the time that this podcast launches, we will have a online Bible study that is going on. It will be different. It won't be in live time. Like, we'll have a channel where everyone can post their thoughts and ideas while they're reading the text for that particular week. And then we'll move on. And then the next week will be a new group of texts and all that. So anyways, the text that we're going to be tackling this upcoming week. So today's Monday. So from today until next Monday, we will be in Genesis chapter 1 through 3. So we're going to try and tackle the creation story, the garden, and the fall of man all in 1 week. So make sure that you tune into that. We will have a Discord channel set up for you to comment all your questions, and to join that Discord channel, just email us at saintsthatserves@gmail.com.
Say it one more time.
saintsthatserves@gmail.com.
So not serve.
Not serve. Serves@gmail.com. Just email us and ask if you can join the Discord channel to be a part of the conversation for Genesis chapter 1 through 3.
Hopefully later on down the line, we'll make it a lot easier to join the Discord channel.
Yeah, I just don't want to, we don't want to like put it out there like anyone can hop on this because...
Well, we'll find a more streamlined way of adding people. But yeah, still, Discord, anyways, we'll
there's a chance that there will be children and minors that will join the conversation. So I don't want to open it up to adult people who are still in sin, who are doing sinful things.
Oh, I understand.
So
yeah, you can lock down a Discord channel.
Yeah.
And still have it invite only, but not having to email somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We will get there.
We're going to get there. Sorry.
If you couldn't tell, we are ironing everything out.
Your cat is decimating my arm.
There's a reason I'm calling him the trash cat.
Because he's turning my arm into trash?
He's trash, yeah.
Because he's shredding my arm?
Like a trash shredder.
We got to get a picture of my arm and post it onto the Discord after this.
Here, I'll take a picture right now.
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah, because you know what? We're not controlled by the media. Yeah, we don't have 5 steps that we have to take in order to do whatever. But anyways, yeah. So make sure if you want to join the Bible study conversation to email us to join the Discord channel. And once again, we will be going through Genesis chapters 1, 2, and 3.
Trace, if you're Hispanic.
Uno, dos, tres, not cuatro, cinco, seis.
Why not?
Because that will be the following week. All right. So that's kind of the intro. There will be more information about our community, STS, or Saints That Serve. So make sure you follow us. We will have different things for you to, in the near future, join and follow to be up to date on when we gather, what we're doing in the community, and what we're doing internationally. But right now, we are doing the podcast and the online Bible study. And we're also asking that you pray for our country of America, because we are coming up on election season. Well, I guess we're already in election season, but we're going to be doing our presidential election in November. So just pray for, the people of this country, that they would find a way to surrender their selfishness and pride to focus on Jesus, who's the only one who can truly save us. There's not a single person who can get into the White House that can solve our problems. We need Jesus to solve our problems.
Amen.
Yeah.
I will say it is, we're trying not to completely date this, but 100%, it's wild.
It is insane. So timestamp, we're not going to, it's going to be a little bit before this podcast hits you guys, but we're recording in July. Mm-hmm. So to give you that as a timestamp, like everything that has occurred in 2024, we're in the month of July. So whatever happens in August and September, we don't even know yet.
I'm going to timestamp it just a little bit, just to something I saw today. Somebody took a busload of illegal immigrants and dropped them off at Kamala Harris's house today.
See, that's just, and it's funny because our entire country has become an internet trolling Reddit page.
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone's just trolling each other and not actually solving problems. So it is humorous to, from a distance, watch, but it is
so, again, I think, how should I word this? Like, I don't want us to, like, as you said, directly politically stand on one side or the other in the sense in our conversation. I'm sure that you can probably, after a while, be able to tell, the cat. Sorry.
Yeah, if you hear a reflection or inflection in our voice, it's because the cat's attacking our equipment.
But don't want to speak out loud, but yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
When it comes to politics, we ask ourselves, WWJD.
WWJD.
What would Jesus do?
And that's something I want us closer to election time, possibly to talk about, have an episode on what policies or virtues should our leader have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and we can get into that. We'll get into that when we get close to it. We'll get into it. But today,
can I say something real quick? Just a really fun thing I noticed, and we wouldn't fully be able to. Everybody wouldn't be able to notice this, but on my drive here, it looked like it was about to storm. I got out of the truck here at your house, started thundering and lightning. In this same room, by the way. So the first time we ever recorded our first Regal Shenanigans video, one of the first things that really kicked off us working together, making internet content, the day we recorded that, it was, I think, a tornado came through.
Yeah, it was like a monsoon.
It was wild. So if you go to, the Regal Shenanigans YouTube channel, find The Drop. That's the video I'm referencing. You can't tell in the video, but it was just a ridiculous monsoon. And just very interesting correlation I noticed was, again, same room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when we start the process of creating something new, a storm coming. And I want to say, look out, because we are a storm and a force.
Storms are brewing, and it's us. Boom.
I wish. So I have a soundboard on, little sound effects on this board.
Yeah, go ahead and do the very first one.
Okay.
It's kind of like kind of goes like this.
So I just wanted to say I apologize for not having a storm boom sound effect.
Yeah.
So it's just like 8 presets, but we're going to get some nice stuff on there.
The beauty of this podcast is it's organic. So as we grow and become better at podcasting, you get to experience that.
Right. So
every single week we're coming at you hot, and you're going to be like, whoa, they're doing a little bit better this week. You know what I mean?
Whoa, they're hot.
Whoa, did somebody turn on the gas? Because my power bill just went up.
So, but you said we're a storm. For now, since I don't have the sound effect, can you just... So that could be a storm or a tiger. Now it's raining.
Thank you. I'm glad that you thought that was rain.
What was it?
That was what I was going for.
Oh, nice.
I was going for rain, but I wasn't sure if it was hitting home.
Nice. So yeah. Before we really fully get into the topic of the day,
which is intense.
It is intense. Is it camping?
No, it's
because it's intense.
Oh.
No, but I want to kind of say, if you have followed us before, give a little bit of a, again, retrospective where we're at in our lives right now. Kind of like in the sense of the very first Regal Shenanigans video, again, referring back to The Drop, we still live with our parents. That was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, something like that.
Dude. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 11 years ago. No, that was 20.
It was
2012.
2012.
2011, 2012. And here we are in 2024. So that's like, what, 13 years?
Yeah.
14 years?
Man. Jeez. So I want to say, like, where we were both at then and where we're at now. You weren't married. I wasn't married. You now are married and have 3 children.
Mm-hmm. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. I'm not telling you my children's names, but I have them.
Nice.
And
what's wild is you're still living in your parents' house.
Still living in my parents' house, even though legally my name's on the deed. I am in my childhood home, though. You are right.
Mm-hmm. And then me personally, I
moved in with your sugar mama.
Moved in with my sugar mama, also known as my wife.
My wife.
My wife. I got married as well recently. Right. 2 months ago, I got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
It was 2 months.
I said it like I wasn't there.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I don't know if...
Congrats on getting married.
Oh, yeah. Hell, hey, were you there at my wedding? Yeah, I was the best man.
I was
man.
The best man.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best man. The best man.
Man, that day was a whirlwind.
I had a good time.
Yeah. You remember that time you put oil on my suit?
Yeah, and I felt terrible.
I forgive you.
I put beard oil in to try and make my beard look pretty. And then I was trying to be all sweet and sentimental, and I put my head on Jarus's shoulder.
He was posing for a picture.
I was posing for a picture, and my glistening beard got on his jacket. Mm-hmm. And so it was a little splotch. And this was before the ceremony. So the rest of the day, the ceremony, everything, he had a little stain.
Hey.
Which is a memento of me.
Yeah. I still need 2 months later.
I'm like an oil stain in your life. You can't get me out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, by the way, was exactly the 2-month anniversary. Me and Ashley's.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yesterday was the anniversary for me and my wife, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It
was...
For what?
How many? Probably like 500th Saturday together.
Do y'all keep up with like weird?
We track every single Saturday that we make it as a couple.
We track every Saturday, every kiss that we have.
Yeah.
How many times the cat bites you? Ouch.
We're at 2 million kisses, and yeah, our one.
He has a tracker app. Wow, it literally says track nonsense. That's the name of the app. Track nonsense.
Yeah. No. Jarus has been married for 2 months to his beautiful bride, and I have been married to my lovely wife for coming up on 9 years.
Jeez.
9 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, got a long way to go.
Remember that time that we recorded a Regal Shenanigans video and your wife was pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can let Jonah know he's actually in a Regal Shenanigans video.
He is actually, okay. He's also in one that never got released.
No, we have 3 or 4, I can't remember.
That we never released.
We recorded and never even edited. So, hey, maybe one day.
Maybe if this podcast just blows up and we just have to dedicate full time to Christian content on the internet, maybe we got some stuff in the chamber. But
I found my old little book that I put my notes in for video ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means now.
It's just 2 words.
Okay, one of my favorite ideas, and would never want to. One of the ideas I've always wanted to do for a video, and we wouldn't be able to make it, is essentially a hunter in the woods, and he's in his stand, and he goes and looks through the scope, and you would be the hunter, I'd be the deer, essentially.
Yeah,
and it's just me with deer horns, wearing the cheapest looking brown coat to have this the fur of a deer. And I don't that was the premise, and nothing ever came from it because it wasn't funny. It's just a funny, in my mind, picturing the premise
Yeah.
of it, the idea of looking down the scope, and it's just me.
That's funny. So what are you into right now, Jarus? What are you playing video game wise?
What am I playing video game wise?
You can go ahead and just say whatever you're playing currently is trash and talk about what's coming up that you're really excited for.
Geez. So I got to think about that because I really haven't been playing too much of anything. Me and you the other night, we've been playing Minecraft.
Yeah, we played once.
So I'm going to get on a rant here, and I apologize.
You're good.
So we wanted to play Minecraft we got together and we're going to play games.
That is correct.
This cat, man. Jeez.
Jeez.
So so we got together playing online. A new game come out called The First Descendant. And so we both downloaded The First Descendant. And what error did you get?
It was some sort of like graphic thing wasn't updated, but it I couldn't find it on my computer at all. So I guess it's like I didn't have the right graphic something installed for the game.
By the way, I'll take a look at that later for you. See,
I actually don't really
care that much.
Yeah, I really don't want to play the game.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so we so he got an error about something and it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work anymore, or at all.
Yep.
And I got an error, and so John committed. He said, "All right, I ain't dealing with this." And it's like, he's like, "Let's move to Minecraft."
Yeah.
And for me, and the way my mind works, once I'm presented with a problem, I have to at least find the point where it's not solvable. I have to find out in the process, this can't be fixed before I give up on a problem.
Yep.
So, so the whole time that we're playing Minecraft, I just can't focus on Minecraft. So I just logged off of Minecraft, and you kept saying, why are you leaving the game?
Yeah. He would be in the game for like 2 minutes, and then he'd get out of the game, and then he'd get back in, and then he'd get back out, and that was like a solid hour of just on, off, on, off, on, off.
Well, so Minecraft won't let you, at least on my computer currently, and it might be part of the problem, the general problem, but it won't let you minimize it while you're on the server and stay on the server, which was really a weird issue I found because I was jumping back and forth and reading stuff about the problem I was having, and then jumping back and forth. So I know I'm ranting here, so just long story short, I've been having small little issues with my computer in general. So I've had my computer's hard drive for like longer than you've been married.
Jeez.
And just constantly updating it. It started with Windows 7, I think.
Yeah.
And over time, I've updated, added, but it's always been the same base on the hard drive.
Yeah.
Where it started. Is that the cat?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Long story short, I had to completely reformat my hard drive. Something I haven't done in the 12 years of me having this. I finally committed and completely wiped my entire hard drive, saving the files that I needed to save.
Yuck.
That
seems so like meticulous and time consuming.
All the files I wanted to keep took 6 hours to transfer to a drive.
Yeah.
Hard drive.
So, backtracking, getting back to the question.
What have I been up to?
What game are you excited to start playing in the near future?
Oh, you did ask a question, didn't you? And I got on a rant. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
How huge?
Sumo wrestler.
Okay. Kingdom Hearts. So for those of us who are ignorant, what is Kingdom Hearts?
So Kingdom Hearts is a Japanese RPG game created by the same company that makes Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And if you don't know what Final Fantasy is, just at this point, look it up, because that's a beast within itself, talking about Final Fantasy. So, but yeah, Final Fantasy is another JRPG.
If you don't know what Final Fantasy is, read a book.
Good Lord, clipping out the audio.
Sorry, that was too loud.
But, so Kingdom Hearts is a JRPG that collaborated with Disney to make a JRPG game where you travel to different Disney worlds, not like the theme park, but like, let's go to Hercules or let's go to Tarzan.
Yep.
So you go to these different worlds, and without getting too deep into it, solving the problems there. It is a very, very, very complicated, convoluted story.
So, but just for those who haven't played the game, you're playing a custom character for the game, and then a lot of the other characters in the game.
So it's not
recreated Disney characters.
Not entirely. So the character you play as is a original character created for this franchise.
Yep.
Whose name is Sora.
Mm-hmm.
And you are traveling place to place, essentially trying to find your friends.
Yep.
That is giving it little to no information. It's so convoluted. There are 14 games in the series now, with only 3 numbered titles, meaning Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And there's 13 games, if that gives you any indication.
Yeah.
With every single game being important to the overall story, which is a rare occurrence. Wow. Like, you don't see that very often, that side games are important.
Yeah.
So getting on a rant, so there is Kingdom Hearts 1, then the second game that came out was Chain of Memories, then Kingdom Hearts 2. There is enough that happens in Chain of Memories that if you just went to 1 and 2, you would have no idea what's going on.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a game initially released on the Game Boy Advance. So a pixelated game.
Wow.
So
that's old.
So PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2 would be the order of the game. So it's like, people. So no wonder you didn't play the game, and no wonder you don't know what's going on in 2.
Yeah.
So anyways, again, ranting about Kingdom Hearts. Huge fan. There is a new mobile game coming out sometime this year, 2024, called Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. And it continues off from the previous mobile game that was a service, so it no longer exists. So you no longer can play this game.
We're policing the cat. It keeps on jumping on the soundboard.
But it is a Pokemon Go GPS type game.
Okay.
So,
which I feel like a lot of people are trying to make those.
Mm-hmm. I think during the height of it, there was so many. I think there was a Ghostbusters one for Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Pokemon Go. But what, to me at least, what makes this one stand out a little bit is if you travel the world, you earn this currency.
Yeah.
Like you physically move and you earn currency in the game that allows you to then play the game out without having to traverse.
Okay.
So depending on how far you travel away from your current distance depends on how much an action would cost. And I really do enjoy that because when you go and get into a battle, you still use you can use a controller and still play it like a traditional Kingdom Hearts game as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. But really, I have just getting married, haven't really been playing too much of anything else.
Yeah.
Setting up our home theater at home and moving stuff over. And as a first married couple, our big first purchase was we bought a couch.
Yeah. And okay, fun story about that. So my entire life that I've known Jarus. No. When we graduated high school and became adults, I do air quotes, Jarus became very tech savvy / intrigued by technology. And so it got to the point to where now the inside joke in our little group of friends is that if Jarus buys it, it's got some weird technological gadget doodad in it. And so we're sitting around we're playing poker with a couple of guys, and Jarus is telling us, yeah, we just bought this couch, we got it set up today. And my brother jokingly says, I'll bet you it's got Bluetooth in it. And Jarus starts laughing. He's like, no joke, it does. It's got Bluetooth in it.
What's funny to me, though, is when we were at the store looking at the different stuff, different couches, rooms to go. Sponsorship, maybe. I don't know. No.
Rooms to go support us? What?
Probably rooms to know.
Rooms to the no.
But, in the process, we had already looked at the couch, standing there, just paid for it. And the guy said, it came up in conversation. He's like, yeah, and all the speakers in the couch will sync up with one another too.
After you'd already purchased it.
After purchasing it.
So we did as a selling point.
He didn't try to sell it that way. But it was so funny to me. I'm just like, wait, there's speakers in it? After buying it.
So yeah. So Jarus has got a spanking new couch in his home entertainment area that have Bluetooth speakers that can sync up. And the room that the couch is in is already surrounded in speakers for his surround sound stereo.
So I'm not even using the speakers in the couch.
Not even using speakers in the couch, but they're there if they're needed. So
I don't know if I could hook it up to the home theater.
Well, now I know what you're doing when you go home.
Hey, I gotta go. No.
So that's us. That's our life.
What have you been playing? What have you been up to?
I got into every time
Poxnora.
Every time that I start getting the Minecraft itch and start playing Minecraft, I deep dive so bad.
You hell dive?
Yeah, I hell dive too into it. And yeah, I'm just playing Minecraft because it's one of those things where it's like you can spend a lot of time doing stuff, but you don't really have to build up a lot of skill to be good at the game like other games. Mm-hmm. So if you stop at any point in time, you don't feel bad, or you don't you don't feel defeated, and you won't pick it back up in the future. So that's the issue, is like if I get into Minecraft, I just jump right back in, because
Minecraft is one of those really just rare games that it will never die.
It'll never die because you can be skilled at playing it. Don't get me wrong. You can be skilled at playing it, and you can increase your skills in playing it. But it is also a game that you can just jump in and play, and you don't have to be good in any particular area.
Mm-hmm. You just play.
You just play and you have a good time.
It's so wild. I think it's that game and GTA 5. Both are still going way past what you would expect a game to live for, especially today's standards. Like two things, movies and games now don't, for something that's so expensive, last nothing.
Yeah.
So so two examples here, and I'm going to rant on one of them. The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is a video game that came out maybe earlier this year. We'll just say earlier this year. That game was a full price game.
Yep.
$70, by the way. A video game now costs $70.
Which is insane.
And because of how poorly it did, later this year it's going free to play.
Yeah.
So the people who paid $70 for that have wasted their money, and the people who waited now can download it and play for free.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. Like, that's what the game, it's crazy. It's amazing to me that that's what the gaming world has become. As a developer, you make more money if you release your game for free, but you create in-game purchases.
Mm-hmm. So that's what that is. If you're not familiar with the video game terminology and the industry in that sense, free-to-play is not truly free.
Yep.
They
download the game for free. You don't have to buy it.
You can play a good amount of portions of the game for free. But to really get the full experience, you a lot of times have to put some form of money into it, whether it be microtransactions to change the appearance of your character.
Yep.
Or to buy what is called a battle pass.
Yep. Battle pass, which is, I'm not going to lie, almost like if you're really into the game, you're 9 times out of 10, you're just going to buy the battle pass just because it adds to the game, even though it doesn't like necessarily help you in the game.
So the battle pass is, again, it a lot of times has unique cosmetic items of some sort for your character and you don't actually get them all. You purchase the right to earn them, which is always a wild thing to me. So like in Fortnite, just about any game now has some sort of battle pass, but it started with Fortnite. Yeah, started battle passes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And I just want to comment on that here we are, 2024, year of our Lord, and people spend their lives online. Like most of people's social interaction is through a screen or through a virtual goggle, and they will,
for the low price of $3,500, you can have the next Apple goggles.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it's insane. But it's going to be, $3,000 now is nothing. Which is insane. But, so people will spend hard-earned money to deck out their virtual character cosmetically, not like to help them to be better in the game, just so that it appeals to them and their aesthetics. And it's because they spend most of their social interaction in the game.
So not to like dog people out. Like we're not sitting here making fun of people who want to do that, because we've done it.
And this is where I wanted to hit home with it, is that I also have spent money on a battle pass and bought different things for my video game character. And I've had a lot of fun playing games with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not dogging it, because I do it and I enjoy it. And even after this podcast, I'm going to still do it. But now let's take an eternal biblical view and say we spend our time, our talents, and our treasures on improving our cyber persona. Thank you. How much of our times, talents, and financial abilities are we spending on our spiritual individuality? Yep. Our spirit. How much time are you spending customizing
your
building up your spiritual self? And when I say build up, really, I mean die to self, because that's what it is to be a Christian. It's not about making yourself a powerhouse. It's about submitting yourself to the only powerhouse, which is Jesus Christ. And so here we are playing video games, and there's thousands of subtle hints to beef yourself up, build yourself up, make yourself look good, make yourself look crazy, make yourself look appealing, this, that, and the other. And then we go and we look in the Bible, and it's all about die to self, surrender yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let Jesus take control and see how much more joy you have in life. Like if you let the creator of the universe be the creator in your life, life will be pretty peaceful. Life will be pretty fulfilling, and you won't need a whole lot. That's what I'm getting at with it, is that there's nothing wrong with buying things to make your character look silly or fun or appealing to your eyes. But if you invest all of your life into the way your cyber character looks, you should equally invest that amount in your surrender to Jesus, because you will never have enough skins. You will never have enough modifications for your video game persona.
And this doesn't even have to be video game. This is anything that you are putting your time into outside of your spiritual self.
Yeah. And then we can so we've been talking about video games and kind of the virtual world. And then we get into the real world. There's no amount of suits that you can own that'll give you enduring peace. There's no amount of cars or houses. There's no amount of friends. There's no amount of makeup. There's no amount of anything that you can obtain by yourself on your own to give you sustaining joy.
Mm-hmm.
That's only found in Jesus. And I don't even need to pull a Bible verse out to prove that to you. I can simply leave you with this. What was the last thing that you bought? And have you bought the updated version, or are you going to buy the updated version of that thing? Or are you content with the first iPhone?
Is that a question for me?
Are you? Are you content with the first iPhone, Jarus?
Absolutely not.
No, because it wouldn't work now.
No. Yeah, like you don't.
That's my rant.
These things don't last either. These earthly possessions don't last, like you're saying. Like you're constantly having to buy the new one and then buy the new thing, and the new thing that has the new one extra feature. And from a financial side, that's very poor decision making. But also on a spiritual side, it's not fulfilling. Like if you're always having to always be out there buying the next thing and buying the next thing, and it's not bringing you joy, then you need to seek elsewhere. And we have the elsewhere.
Yep. And to get super spiritually conspiracy, in ancient times, most people, not everyone, there were still rich elites, but most people were super duper poor and had to backbreakingly work just to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of idol worship revolved around offering up my hard-earned money or materials or livestock to this whatever deity to get what I needed, be it fertility to have a kid, or be it fertility to have a good crop yield, or this, that, or the other. It was all about, I'll give you this and you give me that. And that was idol worship. And here we are today. Our society, I mean, if you made no money, it's very easy to find $5, and it's very easy to take that $5 and get some sort of food. And that's just to contrast that with the rest of the world. That's very hard. So in America, it's very easy to get money, even if it's a little bit. It's very easy to get money, and it's very easy to get food. So there's not a lot of enticement there. Where the enticement comes from the enemy, from Satan, is consumerism. The next best thing. I'm not saying that consumerism is satanic. Disclaimer. What I'm saying is that if you allow consumerism to become an idol in your life, it will be your idol. You will worship on the altar of consumerism, and you will give your time, your treasures, and your talents for the next best thing. You will offer up your treasures to reap the benefits of whatever the next thing is. The next iPhone, the next car, the next smart AI system, the next video game, whatever it is. You will offer up your hard-earned labor for the transaction of whatever the next best thing is. And Satan will take that as worship unto him. And the demons will take that as worship unto them. because you are offering yourself, you're offering everything that you have as a form of idol worship. And it distracts you from true worship of the true living God, who says he's the only God. There is no other besides him. And he requires our total devotion and attention. He does not share his divine right to be the only God with anyone else. You cannot worship Jesus and something else and another God. It's only Jesus. And so that's my, like, looking at consumerism and spending all your money on stuff. It can become idol worship. And I think that we say that a lot in churches. We talk about setting up idols in our lives and stuff like that, but really articulating it and comparing it to how it used to be a couple thousand years ago. And let's just look at what it was. And then let's look at how it's been tweaked a little bit, but it's still the same thing. Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, playing the devil's advocate here a little bit, opposing just for the sake of conversation.
Yep.
But John, you're telling me that I'm not allowed to have nice things?
Yes. No. No.
And
that's the end of the podcast. No. No. Because, okay, so going along the lines of this, because people like to use the Bible verse where Jesus says it's easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. People like to talk about, if you're rich, it's hard to be saved. If you have a lot of money, it's hard for you to be a believer in Jesus. That's not what Jesus is getting at, because there are rich people that are devout to Christ. It's about, Jesus is saying, are you willing to surrender all of you to follow me? Because that's what he told the rich man in that story is, he said, sell all that you have, or give all that you have away and follow me. And the guy left Jesus. And then Jesus goes through that spill. The idea is surrendering all that you have unto the glory of the Lord. And sometimes it does look like that. Jesus will tell somebody, sell all your stuff, get rid of all your stuff, give it away to everybody, and follow me, and go to Zimbabwe and preach the gospel. But other times, Jesus will say, I've given you these treasures. I've given you this money. I want you to use it to build a community of believers around you. I want you to take care of those who are in need. I want you to support them and help them and take opportunity as their provider to share the gospel with them. So there is room in the kingdom of heaven for people that have wealth and have nice things. But if you're living your life just to obtain nice things, then Jesus is not your Lord. Your nice things are your Lord. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's room in heaven for people who have, I mean, we're talking on microphones. We've got headsets. We've got a soundboard, we buy things. We just talked about how we bought stuff for our video game characters. I don't think that it's sinful, but if your life revolves around getting the next thing
and losing focus on what matters.
Mm-hmm. Like we bought this, we talked about it, and we're like, hey, we need to get this for the podcast because we're going to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. And we just got stuff, what we could afford to get. It's not like we took out a loan.
Yeah, John called me up one day and said, hey, we need this. Sell your house.
Yeah. Yep. Sell everything and buy 2 microphones.
So I bought 4 instead.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have guests.
We're going to have guests. No. So that's my big spiel, and I'm ready to get in. Oh. Then we need to finish this up. He just gave me a hand signal and it threw me off. That's why there was silence.
Yeah, so, we are 53 minutes into this episode.
So we got to wrap it up. But we're going to wrap it up with something crazy.
Let's do it.
Okay. Have you ever heard of satyrs?
Satyrs like James McAvoy?
Like Mr. Tumnus, that's right.
Yeah.
So you know what they are?
Yeah. They're like half human, half goat men.
Mm-hmm. They are a humanoid goat creature.
By the way, what should we call this segment, John? Cryptid Corner?
Yeah, we can call it the Cryptid Corner.
Cryptid Corner.
So we all know and adore Phil, the goat man from Hercules, the Disney cartoon. Philatides. We love him. He's funny. He's hairy. And he packs and hits home with some truth, right?
Mm-hmm. Just like Danny
DeVito. But if we take the Disney orientation of satyrs and throw it in the trash because it's not realistic, we get the real creatures, which according to mythology, they are creatures that live in the wilderness who do not care about... I'm setting the stage, okay? This is me setting the stage for what has been said about these creatures. But they live in the wilderness. They love to party. They love to drink wine. They have an insatiable lust for getting it on. And they don't want anything to do with humanity or building the future or anything like that. They are just wild. That's the best way to describe them. They epitomize wild, and but they're also known to have secret knowledge, and that's what made them sought after by ancient heroes and people in all these mythologies. Okay, so that's just a very brief snippet of just the kind of Greek understanding of what satyrs were. In Greek and Egyptian mythology, there is a god or a deity. In Greek, it's Pan. Mm-hmm. And in Egyptian, it's Mendes. And they're the same god. They're a goat man, half goat, half man. And they're known for a variety of things: fertility, secret knowledge, drinking wine, debauchery, stuff like that. Okay. So same god, two different cultures, but they're depicted the same. They are satyrs. Okay. So now we are all up to date on the mythology of what a satyr is, right?
Yes.
What if they're real? Let me get your 2 cents on
what if they were real? What if Philatides was real?
Get Philatides get Philatides out of your mind and get this demonic hand god who likes to snatch up humans and is gross.
If they're real, I guess I'm going the distance.
Gross. Okay, so there is in the Old Testament.
So what you're saying is, what you're about to lay down on me is, this creature's real.
Allegedly.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Because there is debate, but in the Bible, in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 7, it says, "So they shall no more sacrifice their sacrifices to goat demons, after whom they whore. This shall be a statute forever for them throughout their generations." Now that word that's translated into English to say goat demons is called sa'ir. Sa'ir. If you go to the original translation, it can be translated as male goat, he goat, satyr, or this deal right here, goat demons. An ancient understanding of satyr is only one thing. It is a half goat, half human. I don't want to say hybrid because it's not the better of two. Mm-hmm. It's a humanoid goat. That's what it is. That's what a satyr is. So this word sa'ir can be translated into several things, but one of them is satyr, and satyr is only one thing. It is a creature. Okay. Mm-hmm. So another goat man appears in Leviticus chapter 16, 8 through 10. And this one's a little bit more kind of on the line, but we all know who it is. Azazel. Have you ever heard the name Azazel before?
I've heard that name, yes.
Okay, so we all know the X-Men character, Azazel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's Satan. That's how he's depicted.
He's literally a red man.
He's a red man with little spiky horns and a tail.
Like a forked tail.
Yeah. Like a little gremlin demon deal, right? But
And he teleports.
In the Old Testament, Azazel is acknowledged. So the word means scapegoat, which is what was a part of the process of atonement sacrifice. Ancient Israel, their statute for atonement sacrifices for the nation was 2 goats. 2 goats were brought before the high priest. One was killed on the altar and sacrificed to God. And the blood was used to purify the altar and different instruments in the tabernacle/temple. The other goat was not killed. The high priest would lay his hands on the goat, signifying that he is laying the sins of the people on that goat. And then the goat there would be someone picked out to lead the goat out into the wilderness to be offered to Azazel, is kind of the way it's worded. So it sounds like it's saying, oh, we're going to offer a sacrifice to Azazel. But that's not. The idea is that the goat with the sins of the people is being taken out into the wilderness where Azazel is. Azazel is this demonic goat creature. That's how it's historically been depicted by ancient rabbinic people and then even historical Christian theologians. It's always a goat demon-like character. And he lives in the wilderness and in chaos. And the people's sins need to be sent out into the chaos and into the wilderness. The sins can't be in the city with the people. The city needs to be pure and holy because they want God to reside with them in the city. So they send their sins out into the wilderness. So the scapegoat goes out into the wilderness to be away. So there's another instance. Like I said, it's a little bit more iffy of a satyr. Remember, half goat, half man deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're moving forward. This is my last portion of scripture that I have for it. Isaiah 34:14. And it says, in the King James Version, in some King James versions, it's still translated as satyr. Other versions translate it as wild goat or wild he-goat because nobody believes that satyrs are real. So they translate it that way, but it is the exact same word, satyr. And it says in the King James Version, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find herself a place of rest. This prophecy is talking about the total desolation of a city. Like the city God will destroy the city so bad that the wild animals that are only seen in the chaotic wild will inhabit it. So satyrs, who are known as not having anything to do with development and civilization, they love being in the wild, they love being in the chaos, will inhabit this destroyed city. They will come in and they'll scream to their friends, come join me. Okay? So that's my Bible stuff suggesting that satyrs are real. We know that the Greek and Egyptians believed in a deity that was a satyr. And now the modern day, today, there is a cryptid creature that people have seen, and it's called the Goat Man.
Of course it is.
This is where we're wrapping it up. All right, we're at the end of this segment, but the Goat Man, specifically in the United States, is most frequently seen in Texas, Denton, Texas, and then in Prince George County, Maryland. There are 2 big stories that revolve around these things, but they're reoccurring sightings of this creature that everyone is calling the Goat Man. And they don't think it's this like one creature who goes back and forth. He summers in Maryland and winters in Texas. It's not that way. It's 2 separate deals. But it is in the United States.
I have my summer home.
Yeah, exactly. But it's important to acknowledge that both these creatures are seen by people, but they live in the wilderness. They live in a forest somewhere close by where the sightings are seen. And so it fits the bill for a satyr. A satyr likes to live in the wilderness and in the chaos and will show up and create chaos and then go back to wherever he's at. So that is what I present to you. I would love for anyone to reach out to me and give me feedback on what they think the goat man is.
I think you're full of it.
And do you think satyrs are real? Because here's the deal. We're conditioned to believe that if we cannot see it right now, if it's not in our everyday lives, then it's not real. Science doesn't support the idea of a half goat, half man who is a part of the spiritual realm, right? Because that's what a goat demon, satyr, interchangeable. It's a part of the spiritual realm that physically manifests. So it can't be real because we're in a world of reality. You know, so that's the only argument for it, is that it's not real because it's not in the realm of reality. It's only in these old mythological tales that are from history.
Also, something to say and we're going to talk about a lot of this kind of stuff, cryptid stuff in general. Cryptid corner. Keep an open mind in the sense that we, even as Christians, have been, I want to be careful in the way I say this, but we've been conditioned to believe a very specific viewpoint on when it comes to paranormal things.
Yep.
And a biblical, what am I trying to say? A biblical view on how paranormal things exist.
Yeah.
We are taught, I grew up in a Baptist church and taught demons are real, but that's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they're real.
Don't really dive too deep into what that is and what that means when it comes to your walk with Jesus.
Yeah.
It's always been demonic things are real, avoid them. But it's way more than that. Like, as a Christian, and the knowledge base on what you should do about that kind of thing. And then the viewpoint, again, of paranormal things connecting biblically.
Yeah. So I will say, I'm going to close out this cryptid corner with this. Do your own research, look into it. And even if you don't believe in it, if you don't think it's real, have the gentleness of Jesus Christ for the people who do think it's real and who do believe in it. Because I don't know how I feel about satyrs and if they are real or not. I do have some information that suggests that something like a satyr.
There's enough connections there.
And once again, I really want to hit home hard on the goat demon idea, right? I think that there is a demonic force that reveals itself as a half human, half goat entity for the purpose of creating chaos in people's lives. And we need Jesus and the discernment of the Holy Spirit to be able to combat that. If something is appearing to you and is creating chaos, then you need the peace of Jesus Christ in your life. So that's what I want to close it on, is that I think that there is an entity out there who personifies itself as a satyr-like creature. And their goal is to create chaos in your life. So take that chaos. When life gives you goat demons, make lemonade. No.
When life gives you goat demons, choose Jesus.
Choose Jesus. That's a coffee mug right there.
When life gives you goat demons, choose Jesus.
Yep.
Put on t-shirts.
That's a sweatshirt right there. I feel like that's something you wear kind of in the fall. Winter time. When life gives you goat demons, choose Jesus. Yeah.
There you go.
Here you go.
Merch coming soon.
Yeah. We'll let you know when that shoots out. All right. Well, I think that we have passed our 1 hour limit, which is fine.
Yeah, this is our inaugural episode.
And to be honest, we're aiming for 1 hour of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have to be 1 hour. So if we go over a little bit or go under a little bit, it's not like you're paying for this. So, just go with it. Just see what happens.
I'm paying for this.
I'm paying with my life.
So anyways, with that, we like to leave you a little preview of next week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, and with a question of sorts. So, if you will, what are we talking about next week?
So next week, we dived into video games this week. We dived into kind of Kingdom Hearts, touched on Minecraft, and then we talked about satyrs. Next week, we're going to get into some Lord of the Rings, because there's a Lord of the Rings anime that's coming out at the end of this year. And we need to dive into it and see how we, as the hosts, feel about it, and then get into how does everyone else feel about that. So I want to ask everybody, what's your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts? Do you even know what it is? And what are your thoughts on satyrs? Those are my two questions from this episode. And just as a teaser, if you don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, it is a very big, deep hole that you can get caught in. So you should check it out, because we're going to talk about that next week. And we're going to talk about my fun little cryptid that I keep on revisiting, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the big foot.
All right. Well, I've been Jarus.
You've been Jarus.
That's it. Done.
I'm Jonny, and that's Jarus, and we're done. So we'll talk to you next week. Much love. Love you guys.
Bye-bye.